Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, October 28th. So today we do have the moon still in Cancer very early on in the day. It is going to start going void, of course, around 3 a.m. and lock into Leo energy around 6 a.m. So we are kind of getting a jolt while many of us are sleeping. We might feel a little bit needing to get out of bed, ants in our pants, restless. We definitely have to get up, get moving. That water energy from Cancer that, of course, has had us kind of slowed down and very nostalgic and very reflective, emotional, intuitive. When we switch out of that water energy and we shift into a fire energy, that's when we get a pep back in our step. That's when we get fired up and excited again, when we get passionate again, when we come to life. So we are likely going to experience that dramatic shift while, again, many of us in a sleep state. And we are going to kind of wake up with a brand new energy, a brand new push, a brand new desire, a brand new passion. The moon in Leo definitely encourages us to be bold, to be brave, to be courageous, to follow our heart, to put ourselves out there, to be a little bit more fun, more playful, and a little bit dramatic. Especially coming out of, the last couple of days with the moon being in Cancer, we've had a lot of aha moments be kind of illuminated to us, especially where our home, our family environment is concerned, the boundaries that have been triggered and tested in order to see whether or not we're actually taking care of ourselves, protecting ourselves. And coming out of that energy, we definitely are fired up to go ahead and stand up for ourselves, to make a stand, to make a move, to roar and be that lion energy. So the majority of the day is going to be in this Leo energy. And of course, we are building towards the last quarter moon in Leo that we will have later on today, probably early evening for many of us tuning in to this forecast. So starting off, while the moon is still in Cancer, the moon in Cancer makes this very harmonious aspect with Venus in Sagittarius. And of course, this has definitely been an illuminating time of new truth, new details emerging, especially where our personal relationships are concerned, where our own worth, our own self-confidence, our self-esteem is concerned. We have definitely been humbled by recognizing where it is that we stand in our own lives and in other people's lives as well. And we are definitely trying to open our minds up to what our future path is going to look like now that we have to rearrange some people, places, and things in order to actually honor ourselves. The moon definitely creates a little bit of a tension point in its last aspect before jumping into Leo energy by making a square, a tension point, a conflicting point with Mars. Mars, of course, is the god of war, the warrior himself, looking to take physical action here in this physical realm in order to balance the scales, to do what is right, to fight for the justices that we now realize nobody else is going to fight for us about. I really messed up that sentence, but hopefully you understand what I mean when I say that we're recognizing that other people aren't going to save us. Other people aren't going to go to bat for us. We have been humbled in many different ways in the last couple of days in our personal relationships where, it is disappointing. It is a little bit defeating to recognize that the people that we pour into aren't willing to pour into us in the same kind of way. But these realizations push us to a breaking point, push us into an angry fit of rage where, of course, we have to stand up and do what is right for us. And of course, Mars is wrapping up his very last days in Libra, fighting for justice, fighting for balance, fighting for peace and harmony and love, first within ourselves, then within our personal relationships, and then, of course, on the greater, grander stage of the collective. So the moon goes ahead and starts its journey to shift into the moon in Leo energy. But before that happens, Venus makes a little bit of a conflict point with Saturn. So we have Venus over here in Sagittarius, of course, definitely fighting for independence, looking for more freedom, definitely on a quest of truth. trying to reorganize and reestablish one's own boundaries, one's own worth. And bumping into Saturn this way, the Lord of Karma himself in Aquarius, really showing us where it is that we have been blocked, we have been held back, we have been restricted in a lot of ways for moving forward, mostly because we haven't given ourselves permission to open up our minds to other possibilities, especially possibilities of leaving other people behind. So Venus bumping into Saturn at this particular point is really going to help us get a grip on our emotions, on our self-worth, recognizing who needs to stay, who needs to go, and what it is that we need to do in order to protect ourselves. The moon now in Leo is going to make its very first aspect in this Leo energy, a beautiful one at that. It's a sextile with the true node. The true node, of course, is trying to get us on the right path to get to our dreams, our goals, our visions. But here's the thing. We have to rework our plan, our strategy, our path moving forward. Why? Because again, we've been illuminated, we've been humbled to a lot of details, a lot of perspectives, a lot of realizations that the dreams that we had even a month ago are not unfolding the way that we had initially desired. We've had a lot of realizations coming from our personal relationships that really changed the game on what it is that our future dreams, our future plans and goals actually look like. Now the moon that is in Leo, we are following our heart space. We are reminding ourselves of our power. We are pushing ourselves to be a little bit more expressive, standing there, being bold, being courageous, ready to fight for what is right. And now we have to rework our plans, our strategy moving forward. Now we have to listen to our heart space and understand that we need to rework our dreams and our vision because our heart has been harmed and humbled. And it doesn't feel good, but this particular Leo energy is going to help us boss up in all the right ways. Venus goes ahead and sextiles Jupiter. This is a beautiful, beautiful aspect because this means that we're ready to grow. Jupiter is the planet of growth and expansion. And where he has been in Aquarius, now direct, of course, he's ready to do the external work needed in order to push the boundaries of our minds of what is possible. Of course, Venus being in Sagittarius on the quest for truth, on the quest for independence and freedom, for a new faith, a new belief system, renewing oneself in a new direction. We definitely have had some aha moments that we can't unknow. And earlier, again, bumping into Saturn, we had an emotional opportunity to boss up in all the right ways. And when our heart space is ready to grow and expand, we got to get the mental state on the same page. Venus bumping into Jupiter this way is definitely going to allow us to do that. But we have to understand that Jupiter turns the volume up, magnifies, intensifies whatever energy that we're actually standing in. And we have been building to an intensity, to a building point. Why? Because we're about to have the last quarter moon in Leo. And that happens when the moon in the Leo squares, creates a tension point, a conflicting point of energies with the sun. And of course, the sun is in Scorpio. So what do we have here? Well, we have a little bit of a meltdown. We have a breaking point. We have a breakthrough point because the moon in Leo is proud, is bold, is brave, is courageous enough to stand in one's power, even if it means standing alone, in order to honor what is going on in our heart space, what it is that we're now being called to do, what it is that we need to release from our heart chakra in order to actually free ourselves up to move forward. The sun in Scorpio, of course, is illuminating all of these darker parts of our shadow self, all the fears, the doubts, the uncertainties, the insecurities, all of the emotional baggage that we've been carrying into the present moment. The sun in Scorpio is illuminating, shining a big bright light on all of the emotional baggage that the moon in Leo knows that we have to drop, we have to let go of in order to be freed up and lighter to transform, to alchemize this pain into power, this weakness into strength. That's what the sun in Scorpio is here to do for this whole Scorpio season, is to illuminate the dark shine a bright light on it, and show us where it is that we can alchemize that, put some magic to it, understand what's going on in our psyche, in our heart space, in our spirit, in our soul. Connect the dots in order to make a powerful move, a powerful shift, a powerful transformation, stepping into a brand new path to move forward. So we have this crisis point, we have this releasing point with the last quarter moon. Then the moon goes ahead and bumps into Neptune, who is retrograde in Pisces. Now the moon in Leo, making this aspect with Neptune, is really going to kind of conflict for a moment until we have an aha moment. A strong intuitive sense that what we just released, what we just realized within ourselves that needs to be dropped and put down as far as the emotional baggage, that we get a sign, a validation point from our higher selves that although it feels uncomfortable, although it feels unfamiliar, it's the right thing to do. And we're going to get validated within our intuition. We know in our gut that this is the right thing to do. This is what we have to do in order to actually move forward. The moon in Leo goes ahead and bumps into Mercury, which is going to help us get our heart and our head on the same page. The moon in Leo is our emotions. It is our heart space. It is our unconscious selves. Mercury, of course, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of communication and expression, is still in Libra and very much direct at this point. This is going to create a realization within us that when our heart and our head agree, we need to meet in the middle. And what happens in the middle? That's our throat chakra. That's where we become vocal. That is when we speak our thoughts, our feelings into this realm of existence by communicating, by expressing, by getting all of that energy that we've just realized mind, body, and soul need a little bit of a shift, of a transformation, where we let that energy out. The sun is going to go ahead and make a little bit of a tension point with Neptune. So you have the sun in Scorpio, you have Neptune retrograde in Pisces. This is water and water working together in order to transform us. The sun in Scorpio wants to illuminate for us where this transformation is happening, where we are recognizing the power in our darker thoughts and emotions, the power in our actions to cut the head off the snake, if you will, and leave that trauma, that pain, those memories, that emotional baggage in the past. And of course, Neptune is our intuition. It's our higher self. It's our creativity. It is a lot of energy at this particular point in time. And I'm going to tell you, we have to try really hard not to escape all the intense emotions that are coming up for us right now. Scorpio season is notorious for extreme and intense emotions. That's how we find a middle ground. That's how we transform. Neptune, especially in its place of power in Pisces, is all about recognizing the intuitional gut reaction, the dreams, the imagination, the subtle energies of everything that we are and everything that we are surrounded with. And that can become very overwhelming. Neptune and Pisces is the escape artist of the zodiac, doesn't really want to deal with the present moment, would rather check out and live in la la land. And especially when emotions and thoughts get very intense and very extreme, we have the tendency to want to numb that. We just had a very intense breakdown / breakthrough. We just were kind of encouraged by the cosmos to stand up, even if we're standing by ourselves, to be vocal and express ourselves, especially speaking our truth from our heart space. That can be very intense. That can be very overwhelming. To make matters even a little bit more tense at this particular point in time, the moon in Leo is going to sit across from and oppose Saturn, who is in Aquarius. So here's the thing. We're emotionally at odds with ourselves. Why? Leo energy is the individual, our unique individual trait, characteristics, talents, skills, what we need to do to honor ourselves, to stand in our authentic energy, to bring our individuality to the collective. But Saturn, of course, the Lord of Karma over there in Aquarius, the Aquarian energy is all about the collective. all about joining the collective. So this is like, how do we honor at what it is that we need to do, what it is we're being called to do in our own individual lives to bring happiness and peace and harmony to our own heart chakra? How do we honor ourselves when everyone else is asking us to stop thinking about ourselves and to start thinking more about the collective and other people? We're at odds here because emotionally speaking, we have sacrificed our own wants, needs, and desires to make other people happy for far too long. There is a balance that we need to strike. There is a balance that will definitely happen. However, the push and pull between us needing to do what our heart is calling us to do and what it is that we feel socially obligated to do is going to be highlighted for us in order to see where it is that we have been leaning towards one energy over the other and where it is that balance is 100% needed. The moon is going to go ahead and make a little bit of a tension point with Venus. And emotionally speaking, this is recognizing what it is that we need in order to feel safe and secure in our own lives and in our own personal relationships. Venus, of course, is on a quest of truth. She's trying to be positive and renew her faith in looking at the silver linings of the big picture. But of course, the moon in Leo just wants to focus on what our heart chakra is asking us to do right now in the present moment. There is this blending of energies where emotionally we have to get a little bit more clear, define a little bit more on what it is that actually brings us happiness, brings us joy, and then figure out how it is that we can honor ourselves in doing those things and still feel like we are contributing, honoring, and respecting the collective movement of moving forward. Lastly here, the moon in Leo is going to trine a beautiful energy with Chiron, the wounded healer. So Chiron is retrograde in Aries, really showing us where our inner warrior needs to come out to play, highlighting for us our egos and our identities and what it is we've gotten too attached to. And of course, a trine means that we are healing something. This is a beautiful energy to be working with. This tells me that the realizations that we have had, the conflicting energies, the tension points that we have felt within ourselves all throughout the day, we've had an aha moment. We've connected the dots somehow. And the moon bumping into Chiron in this way is healing a particular wound that has been open and just ready to be triggered at any point in time throughout the day. This likely will be an issue, a topic, a theme on where it is that we have to honor our own selves first, honor our heart space first, get a grip on our emotions first, before we should concern ourselves for showing up for other people and showing up for the greater, grander collective.